Hello, dear students. Welcome back to a new channel. Students, today we are going to talk about something that might sound a little strange at first. Yes, we are going to talk about waste water. Okay, now waste water is what? It's water. It is the water from sewage, drains, toilets. But believe it or not, scientists can actually use this wastewater to save lives. How? By finding early warning signs of dangerous diseases. And this is called something environmental surveillance. Yes. So today we will explore what it means, how it works, and why it's becoming so important in India around the world. So, yes, students, every year pathogens, bacteria and viruses, and even worms affect millions of people. You might already know some names, है ना? Cholera, yes, these are cholera, measles, polio, and of course, COVID-19. But here's the interesting part. Before people even realize they are sick, traces of these germs already leave their bodies through stool, urine, or even cough droplets. Now imagine where all that goes. Right into wastewater. Okay, so that's why scientists say wastewater is like a mirror of the community's health. If we study it carefully, we can see which germs are around and we can even predict when an outbreak might happen. Now that sounds pretty cool, right? So, how does it work? Now, you must be thinking, how can dirty sewage water tell us so much? So, let's just understand it. First, collection of samples is done. Okay, scientists they basically collect wastewater from different places. Okay, सीवेज हो गया, सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लान हो गया, ड्रेन हो गया, हॉस्पिटल के ड्रेन्स हो गए, टॉयलेट्स इन एयरपोर्ट्स और इवन वाटर फ्लोइंग आउट ऑफ रेलवे स्टेशन. So then what they do, they check for pathogens. Pathogens is just a, like I said, it's just a fancy word for germs that causes diseases. And pathogens are searched for in these samples. For example, viruses like COVID-19 or bacteria that cause cholera. तो इन सबको उस वेस्ट वाटर में ढूंढा जाता है, वेस्ट वाटर में चेक किया जाता है, right? Third point is then what is done? Then these samples are then tested in labs. Okay, scientists basically they use special methods, including uh, something called whole genome sequencing. Whole genome sequencing. Okay, whole genome sequencing to basically not only identify the germ but also check if it has new variants. Okay, so by checking waste water regularly, they can see if infections are going up or if it is coming down in a community. ठीक है, तो ये ऐसे चेक किया जाता है कि वेस्ट सैंपल जो है उसमें सबसे पहले तो क्या किया गया, सबसे पहले सैंपल्स कलेक्ट किए गए. ओके, सैंपल्स फर्स्ट, सैंपल्स आर कलेक्टेड, देन check, then pathogens are checked. Okay, पैथोजेंस क्या है बेसिकली, जो जर्म्स जो हमें डिजीज करते हैं, ठीक है, जिसकी वजह से हमें डिजीज होती है उसे पैथोजेंस कहते हैं. तो पैथोजेंस को ढूंढा जाता है उस वेस्ट वाटर में. जैसे कोविड-19 वायरस हो गया, कोलेरा किसकी वजह से होता है, बैक्टीरिया की वजह से. तो ऐसे पैथोजेंस को वेस्ट वाटर में देखा जाता है. उसके बाद क्या किया जाता है, फिर इस सैंपल को लेकर लैब में लेके जाते हैं और स्पेशल मेथड्स हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे मैंने आपको बताया होल जीनोम सिक्वेंसिंग, इससे पूरे सैंपल को चेक किया जाता है. इससे हमें पता चलता है कि जो जर्म है वो कौन सा है और कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं इसका कोई न्यू वेरिएंट आ गया है, कोई न्यू वेरिएंट इवॉल्व हो गया है, तो उसको भी चेक किया जाता है. फिर जो ये वेस्ट वाटर है उसको रेगुलरली चेक किया जाता है. ठीक है, दे कैन सी इफ इन्फेक्शंस आर गोइंग अप और इफ इट इज कमिंग डाउन इन कम्युनिटी. Okay, and here's the most amazing part. Sometimes wastewater shows the warning signs before patients even go to the hospital. Okay, तो वेस्ट वाटर में देखो साइंटिस्ट पहले ही पता लगा सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे कोई आउटब्रेक होने वाला है कि नहीं. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. Or students traditionally, the only way to find out about infections was to wait for sick people to visit doctors or hospitals. अब इससे होता क्या था? इससे इससे इशू ये होता था कि अ, सब जिसको इन्फेक्शन है, ठीक है, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि किसी पेशेंट में इन्फेक्शन है पर उसको कोई सिम्टम नहीं है, ठीक है, सो नॉट एवरीवन विद एन इन्फेक्शन शो सिम्टम्स एंड सम पीपल हैव ओनली माइल्ड सिकनेस, ओके, थोड़ी बहुत सिकनेस होती है एंड दे डोंट बॉदर गेटिंग टेस्टेड, राइट, and some people may not even realize that they are carrying the germs. Okay, this is again a possibility. So this means the number of hospital cases often looks smaller than the true number of infections. Okay, but wastewater doesn't lie. Everyone uses toilets, है ना? So germs from all infected people, even those who don't go to the hospital, end up there. So environmental surveillance, it gives us a fuller picture of reality. It can act as an early warning signs. Okay, early warning sign, early warning system की तरह ये काम कर सकता है. Imagine this, if we know that infection levels are rising in a city even before people start crowding hospitals, तो उससे क्या होगा? डॉक्टर्स, गवर्नमेंट, वो पहले ही प्रिपेयर हो जाएंगे, पहले ही वो मेडिसिन, बेड्स, अवेयरनेस कैंपेन्स एडवांस में स्टार्ट कर देंगे, राइट? तो ये बहुत अच्छा सर्विलांस सिस्टम है. नाउ अब एक एग्जांपल से समझते हैं. ओके, सपोज साइंटिस्ट डिटेक्ट अ सडन राइज इन पोलियो वायरस इन मुंबई's वेस्ट वाटर. Okay, polio virus, sudden rise in polio virus in Mumbai's wastewater. So even if no child has shown symptom yet, it means the virus is spreading. So public health teams can immediately vaccinate children in that area. Are you getting my point? So this kind of early action has saved millions of lives over the last 40 years. Okay. And so this kind of surveillance, it has been used to track measles, cholera, polio worldwide. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया में पहली बार होगा, नहीं, पूरे वर्ल्ड में हमेशा होता रहा है. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, wastewater testing was done in several Indian cities. And believe it or not, students, in some cases, scientists could see a COVID wave coming almost a week before hospitals reported a rise in cases. So that's like having a weather forecast, but it is for diseases. Yes. Okay. So what's happening in India right now? The Indian Council of Medical Research has announced a big step. Okay. So wastewater surveillance for 10 viruses across 50 cities. That is what they'll be doing. This means scientists will keeping an eye. Okay. Yes. So scientists will be keeping an eye for 10 viruses across 50 cities. They'll be, finding if there's a dangerous virus, if the dangerous viruses are starting to spread or not. Okay, and ICMR has already done similar work with avian influenza. Okay, एंड तो पहले से ही वो ऐसा नहीं है कि पहली बार होगा, पहले भी उन्होंने किया है, बट व्हाट दे वांट नाउ इज ए नेशनल वेस्ट वाटर सर्विलांस. नेशनल लेवल पर अभी तो थोड़ी थोड़ी जगह पे हुआ है, ठीक है, तो नेशनल लेवल पर ये इसको किया जाए. ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर चैलेंजेस. क्यों? कि डिफरेंट स्टेट्स हैं, वहाँ पे जो लैब्स है उनको डेटा प्रॉपरली शेयर करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, जो सर्विलांस सिस्टम है इट नीड्स कॉमन रूल्स एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स. And instead of just one-time projects, what we need is continuous long-term monitoring. Okay. So if India develops such a system, it could be a game changer for public health. Right? Because wastewater isn't the only source of clues. New methods भी साथ साथ में ढूंढे जा रहे हैं. जैसे साइंटिस्ट क्या एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं, साइंटिस्ट आर एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग विद रिकॉर्डिंग कफ साउंड्स इन पब्लिक प्लेसेस। कैन यू इमेजिन कि पब्लिक एरिया में जो कफ साउंड है उसको भी रिकॉर्ड किया जा रहा है। And with the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning, these coughs can be analyzed to detect patterns of respiratory diseases. Imagine walking through a busy railway station and the system already knows whether flu or TB cases are increasing just by listening to coughs. So the possibilities for environmental surveillance are endless. Now you may be wondering, ma'am, हमें क्या इससे, why we as a student should care about all this sewage science? See, it shows us how science and technology can protect societies. It proves that prevention is always, students, always better than cure. And it reminds us that even ordinary things like wastewater, it can hold powerful secrets that can help save lives. Okay, and careers in this field are also growing. Microbiologists, epidemiologists, data scientists, public health officers. Okay, and maybe some of you listening right now could play a role in keeping India safe from future pandemics. Who knows, right? So, to sum it all up, environmental surveillance is like being a detective, but instead of looking for a fingerprints, what scientists try to look for germs in wastewater. All right, students, for thank you for joining me today on this episode. Stay curious, stay safe, and remember, even the most unexpected places can teach us something, can teach us most important lessons. Bye bye.